everybody, so I hope you're well and having the most incredible day. As always, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we are diving into my April reading wrap-up. I honestly cannot quite believe that we are diving into the April books, the April reviews. I cannot quite believe we are here. This year is going by so incredibly quickly, but I have some amazing books to share with you. I managed to get through 9 books, which I'm so impressed by. And I think most of these I actually really enjoyed. I don't think there was many I didn't like. I'm just gonna have a little look at the notes on my phone. I have 2 3-stars, 1 2-star, another 3-star, and the rest were 5-star. What a great bunch. So we are going to dive right into all the reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always and carry on watching. So the first book I picked up was That One Night by Emily Rath. This is part of the Jacksonville Rays series. Essentially it's a spicy hockey romance. That is basically all I'm going to tell you. This is the prequel to that kind of series. So this focuses on Rachel and Jake and how they meet, and it's a very quick story. It basically goes over one night obviously, and it's basically how they meet, and that is all I'm going to tell you. This one was a 3-star. I did really enjoy it and it was enough for me to want to read the rest of the series, but I find things like novellas and prequels to stories, especially when they are really small, really hard to want to give a 5-star because there's not a lot of information in here. There's not a lot of world building. There isn't a lot of character development really. It is literally a case of they met, they kind of had a interaction. I'm not going to spoil it, so don't worry. And then it kind of ends the next morning, and that is basically the prequel. So it is really good. It was definitely enough for me to love the characters and really find them interesting, enjoy their kind of back and forth, but I don't find them enough. I don't find that I love them enough to give them a 5-star. So it was a 3-star for me, definitely enough to make me want to continue, as I said, and I will definitely be doing that soon. So that is the first book I read. If you can call it a book, it's more of a napkin, very small. The next book I listened to was via audiobook, and that was Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. I'm just going to read on my phone the notes I made. So this one was about Wes and Bethany. It's a reverse age gap, so she is older. It gave family vibes. I said I actually really liked the characters and I loved the family feel. Could I tell you what this book was about? Absolutely not. I gave this one a 3 stars. I think this one was Bethany, I believe, is an interior designer, but she decides to do up this house and be in competition with her brother because the whole family has like this renovation business, and she wanted to be more kind of hands-on with it, and her dad wouldn't let her basically, and she kind of wanted to prove a point. And then I believe Wes is giving her a hand with that and kind of helping her do up the house. I can't really remember anything else other than that. It was a cute story. Would I recommend it? Probably not really. It's not my favourite Tessa Bailey book by any means. I just thought it was nice, and I did have the physical copy, so I wanted to get it off my TBR, and I found that they had an audiobook, so I listened to it. It was alright. Not much else to say on it, not gonna lie. I can't really remember, but it was a 3-star, so yeah. The next book I picked up was mine and Becky's book club pick, and that was Filthy Rich Vampire by Giovanna Lee. This book, if you love Twilight and you love Lauren Asher, this is basically the combination that we've all been waiting for. This was absolutely just so fun to read. I will say the cliffhanger at the end, absolutely fuming about it. I need to pick up the second book ASAP because I just couldn't believe it ended like that. I did not see it coming, and when I finished it I was just like, is that the end? Really? Could not quite believe it. This one I gave a 5-star. So you have Julian, you have Thea. So Julian is a vampire and he is obviously filthy rich, hence the name, and Thea is completely human. He basically sees her playing her cello as part of a orchestra at an event, and it all kind of spirals from there. She realizes then that vampires are a lot more common than you would think, and it's basically how they come together. It's a fake dating situation, which I absolutely love. To be honest with you, if you love Lauren Asher, you love vampire books, you will die reading this book. It was just absolutely phenomenal. I loved it so much, and again, I cannot wait to finish the series. I also really love the cover of this one. So this one, if you kind of read the book, you'll see so many little spoilers on the cover, which I really like, and I'm going to hold this one up as well so you guys can see the back if you do want to read it. I just really loved this one. I don't really want to give away too much, but basically it's about how I can't really say too much without giving it away, but they kind of do this fake dating thing. Thea goes with him to, I think it was Paris, and stays in this massive house. His mum hates her, hates the idea of her being a human, and it's essentially all about that and how they kind of start to grow to really like each other. And I just cannot recommend it enough. If you love vampire books, incredible, just so good. The next book is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, which I did not like. I'm not gonna lie to you. I also listened to this one on audiobook, which maybe this wasn't the best idea, I don't know, but I really just didn't like this one. I didn't like the writing style. I didn't like that it was in third person. I didn't like any of the characters. The fact that, spoiler alert by the way, skip 10 seconds, she goes on holiday with this boy who really likes her because he wants to help her sell her art, and then she gets with his dad. Normally I'd be all about that spicy kind of vibe, but she just wasn't giving it to me. I didn't like them together. I didn't see the bond. I didn't like any of the characters. I just found this really odd, and it wasn't my favourite. I gave it a 2-star. I'm not going to say it was awful. It definitely wasn't like an awful read. I finished it, but it wasn't anything. It just didn't grip me. I didn't giggle. I didn't kick my feet. I wasn't smiling reading this book, which I have got a few books that I read and I absolutely loved, but this one just wasn't it for me. I'm not going to lie. Again, I will hold the back so you guys can have a read if you want to. I will say that the cover of this and also the kind of descriptions of the book and like the world building made it really beautiful to read, and I could really envision being there, but the rest of the story I just didn't like. I didn't get it. I didn't feel sorry for any of the characters, and I didn't really find myself just like obsessing over them, so it wasn't for me, unfortunately. But the cover, beautiful. And the next 3 books I picked up were all by Frida McFadden, because I basically read one book, which I'll start with, and it put me on this Frida McFadden spiral. I'm currently reading another book by her at the moment. I just cannot get enough, and I loved every single one of these so much. So the first one I read was The Inmate. This book, I just cannot describe to you how many twists and turns this book took me on. When I was reading it, I was thinking, I know what's going to happen. Like, it's really obvious. Like, that is going to be what happens. And you get to hear and you're like, oh, that's not really what's going on. It must be this. Then you get to the end. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I have never felt like that. Honestly, it was unbelievable. Character-wise in this one, you have Shane, Tim, Brooke and Josh, and essentially what this one is about is there is a group of kids who go to Shane's house, and some of them don't make it out basically, and one of them gets sent to prison, and essentially then it's the kind of, did they do it? Did they not do it? Like, what actually happened that night? It makes your brain work. I really don't want to give anything away, but what I will say, the epilogue of this book, I have never been so shocked in all my life reading a book. The end of this, I was just like, sorry, what? And I had to read it twice. I could not put this down. I could not just stop thinking about this book. I still cannot stop thinking about this book. I just don't want to tell you guys too much because it really does spoil it. I went into it blind and I would really recommend it. I will hold up the back though if you guys do want to have a read. But any Frida McFadden book apart from, oh actually no, yeah, every single Frida McFadden book I've read, I have never looked at the back, and I'm so glad I don't because I just love going into it blind. So this was a 5-star read. Absolutely phenomenal. Just, I cannot recommend it enough, to be honest. And I really, again, I don't want to tell you guys too much what happens because I feel like it is a complete, it just spoils it. So just go into it blind. All you need to know is a group of kids go to a house, they don't all make it out, someone goes to prison, and then it's kind of like a few years in the future. It's just amazing. The next book by Frida McFadden that I picked up was The Locked Door. This one is really hard for me to explain without giving too much away. But essentially you've got a girl called Nora and her dad had this obsession with the basement. No one really knew what was going on. You have a past and a present timeline, so you do find out what was going on. But in the present timeline, Nora is a doctor, and basically things just aren't what they seem. That's all I'm going to tell you. It is such a wonderful book. I could not put this down. I think I binged this in like a night and a half. Like, I absolutely loved it. And I had it on my Kindle, so I was flying through it. And I just, honestly, I just cannot recommend it enough. As I said, another 5-star read, but I don't want to tell you guys too much about it because I truly feel that going into her books blind is just the most fun. So yeah, essentially, it's about a girl called Nora. She had some things in the past happen, and nothing is what it seems. That is all I'm going to say for that one. And the last book I read by Frida McFadden in April was Never Lie. This one, again, is so hard for me to explain without spoiling it, but you've basically got one POV of a therapist and one POV of just a normal woman, and essentially this therapist, you find out, basically dies. You know this from the start because her house is put up for sale, and this other lady is going to go and view this house, and basically her and her husband get stuck in this house and a lot of things go on. It's giving like really paranormal vibes, but you're thinking, is it paranormal or am I being crazy? Is there something else going on inside this house? It's really, really interesting and I absolutely loved it. It was another 5-star read. I honestly don't think there's going to be a Frida McFadden book that I don't like, because every single one I've read I have given a 5-star, and I've read 5 of her books so far and I absolutely love them. I'm not going to tell you too much more information about this book. All I will say is that everybody in this book seems really suspicious, and it just really makes me confused as to who I thought what was going on, and like I just couldn't pinpoint what I really thought was going on, but every single time I thought I knew what was going on, I was completely wrong. So that is the next book I read and I absolutely loved it. And the next book I picked up was The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This was a 3-star, and that's not me saying that I didn't love this book, because I really, really enjoyed it, but I don't think I would run to read it again, if that makes sense. It was good, just wasn't my favourite. This is about a girl called Meredith who essentially loses her sister. Her sister passes away before the book even starts. It's not a spoiler, it is on the back, and essentially then goes to her family's like holiday house or her grandparents' house or wherever it was on this island to play this massive game of assassin that lasts for like all summer, and she meets this guy. It's a very light-hearted family feeling book. It was really fun to read, and I think as like a beach read or a holiday book it would be really, really good. I just don't find myself reading it like kicking my feet, screaming with joy, and being in love with the characters. I just found that it was a really nice, easy read, and I would recommend it. But yeah, that is basically all the book's about. This book just has a really overall family feel to it, and it was a very nice read. I just don't feel like I would rush to read it again. But that is basically what the book's about. A massive game of assassin, summer vibes, summer family feels, but nothing really happens. Does that make sense? Like, it's not groundbreaking, but it was cute. And last but definitely not least is mine and Kelsey's book club pick of the month. So if you guys don't know, me and my amazing friend Kelsey have a book club. It is the Across the Pond book club, which I always have linked down below. So if you guys want to check it out, please do. We are over on Instagram. I will insert something on the screen now. So editing Melody, please just put something on the screen to help the guys out. But anyway, our book club pick for April was, of course, Abby Jimenez's, that wasn't English, I always think it's Jimenez, but it's not, it's Jimenez, isn't it? Abby Jimenez's Just for the Summer. This book. I tell you what, if you want a book where you're going to cry and laugh and giggle and kick your feet and just be like so giddy with absolute joy, this book, I'm just in awe. Like, I loved this book. This was a 5-star read. So basically, to give you a brief synopsis, obviously feel free to read the back if you wish, but you've got Justin, you've got Emma. Now, when I first heard about what this was about, I was a bit like, ugh, I'm just like not excited about it, but the writing style, just the way I can't, it's too good. Anyway, you have Justin, you have Emma, and basically Justin goes on Reddit and makes this big report about how he always goes out with people, then they break up, and that person always finds their soulmate, and he's always left on his own and never has a soulmate. And basically Emma messages him like, oh my god, this literally happens to me. And then they start talking and essentially decide to like fake date each other to kind of cancel each other's bad luck out. And you just know what's going to happen. You know feelings are going to be had, but oh my god, when I tell you that Justin is the most golden retriever, incredible book boyfriend I have ever read about in my life. Amazing. Like, this is literally like not even spicy. Like, I love a spicy book. There is literally like no spice really in this book apart from like a sprinkling, like a little tiny dusting, but it's really nothing. I just cannot tell you how much I'm obsessed with this book. It was so good. I think I would even read this again. I loved it that much. I think I would absolutely read it again. I want to get a special edition. I cannot. The only thing about this book that really just it niggled me a tiny bit is that this is technically the third book in a series. So this is part of Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World series. I do have books 1 and 2. I haven't read them yet because I didn't realise this was going to be part of a series. Obviously, me and Kelsey, we tend to put books in our kind of monthly reads which aren't series because we don't want to pick a book like 7th in a series and then make people have to read all 7. Do you know what I mean? So we were a little bit annoyed about that, but I don't really think it was majorly necessary. I mean, it kind of is, but I feel like I'm still going to enjoy books 1 and 2 and it's not going to have spoiled it much for me. But I just cannot tell you how much I love this book. I just absolutely loved it. I think this is my favourite book of the month. Even though I gave multiple books 5-star, I would give this one a gajillion if I could, because it was just absolutely incredible. If you want any book of these books to read, I am telling you, read this book. It was just perfection. Honestly, amazing. So those are all of the books I read throughout April. I really feel like I kind of briefly touched upon each book and then I got to this book and rambled at you for 5 minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. And as always, I would love to know down below, what books did you read in April? Did you enjoy them? Did you not like them? I would love to know. And obviously, if you're watching this video and you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I upload twice a week on this channel. I film a lot of Lush content, book content, and a few vlogs in between. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. I love you so much and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.